So after looking at loads of my favourite hidden details of years gone by in recent videos, today I wanted to take a look at 20 video game Easter eggs that you may have missed or just completely forgotten. I mean, there are quite a few Easter eggs in this video that I had forgotten, and it was only when searching through my hard drives that I remembered them, so I'm kind of hoping you've forgotten them too. If you're new here, this channel shares the best Easter eggs and hidden details found in video games, and I record everything myself. You see, I actually do the bare minimum required of a gaming YouTuber, and that's actually play games. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, perhaps consider subscribing. Oh, and I have tried to include some really obscure Easter eggs in this video from games that you might not have heard of. So if I can show you 5 Easter eggs that you've never seen before, then I'll take that as a win. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Now, considering American Truck Simulator is a game about driving trucks ridiculously long distances in the most realistic way possible, you may be surprised to learn that there are loads of Easter eggs to find in the popular trucker map. One of my personal favourites is one of my favourites because it's so easy to miss. But once you see it, it's impossible to unsee. When driving down this road, you can find this. Now, at first glance, this collection of bins may look like, well, a collection of bins. But the more cultured among you will immediately recognise these bins as the boys from South Park, with the Cartman dumpster being absolutely brilliant. Now, I'm not sure if this next Easter egg is forgotten, but the game definitely is. Rainbow Six Extraction sort of came, and then it went. I mean, people played it at launch, but I feel like the game just died off not long after, and no one really cared. That's not to say it was bad, but it wasn't anything special either. Anyway, one thing that I do remember from Extraction is an Easter egg that can be found during the tutorial mission. If you shoot the same recruit cutout on the boat that I do, this will happen. Okay, so it's not quite as impressive as some of the shark Easter eggs seen in the Battlefield series. And before you ask, no, I'll never get tired of showing that Easter egg, but it's probably the most memorable thing from a pretty forgettable game. So Phantom Hysteria is a 4-player ghost hunting co-op game, which is a genre that's as crowded as my shelf full of gamer subs, which I've personally used to replace sugar-filled energy drinks. With tons of delicious flavours, and I do mean that, especially the Queso's Bombsicle flavour, gamer subs is the perfect way to kick the energy drink habit for the new year. Each purchase supports the channel, and even if you don't want to spend anything, scan the QR code and grab yourself some free samples on me. Anyway, despite being one of the many ghost hunting games on Steam, there is an Easter egg in Phantom Hysteria that does set the game apart from its peers. If you head to the cremation room and interact with the urn, this will happen. So almost every texture in the game now shows the face of the development team, which even for a game about hunting ghosts might be the scariest part of Phantom Hysteria. Now, believe it or not, there was once a time when I was excited to find a DeLorean Easter egg in a game. I was young and naive, and I didn't know that it would go on to become one of the most overused video game Easter eggs of all time. But I had forgotten about one of the very first DeLorean Easter eggs I ever found. In Police Stories, you can find this. I mean, nowadays, this isn't anything special, but all the way back in 2019, which is when I first recorded this, I thought it was brilliant. Now, Cyberpunk 2077 is full, and I do mean full, of Easter eggs and secrets. But I must admit, this next Easter egg is one of my personal favourites. During the Big in Japan side mission, Dennis gives you the vague job of finding a fridge with no future written on it. When you track the fridge down, a man will fall out of it, which in the world of Cyberpunk is one of the more normal things that you'll encounter. Anyway, after returning the man back to Dennis, you can ask who exactly you just rescued. And it turns out he's kind of a big deal.
So who is this guy?
He'll tell you his story. Hariyoshi?
In Japan, brain sergeant, top of all. Good instinct. One day, Tiger Claw boss needs surgery. But both die on table. Tiger Claws were very angry. I hide in boat, swim to America. Here Dennis saved me. But there is secret. I killed Tiger Claw boss on purpose. World best surgeon, make no mistake.
So this man is a reference to this scene from the US Office.
One day, Yakuza boss need new head. I do operation, but mistake. Yakuza boss time! Darling, save life. My big secret. I kill Yakuza boss on purpose. I could search him. The best!
Now, if I'm honest, I can't imagine anyone forgetting this next Easter egg, but it's so cool, I had to share it again. On the Cheshire Park map in Modern Warfare 2019, you can find 5 mousetraps, and these can be really well hidden. You see, there are apparently 40 different locations the mousetraps can spawn, and the positions change each game and they only spawn one at a time. So it's just a case of checking all 40 locations until you find the 5 you're looking for. You might get lucky and find them in the first 5 places you look, or the last one might be in the last place you look. It all depends on how lucky you are. Anyway, after shooting the 5th mousetrap, a slice of cheese will spawn. Pick it up and take it to the wheel of cheese, which, you guessed it, also spawns at a random location. Once you've found the wheel of cheese, take it to the statue in the middle of the map and place it down. So this Easter egg is a reference to the tale of the Pied Piper who could use his magical pipe to lure rats away from an infested town. When the town refused to pay the piper, he then used his magical pipe to lure all the town's children away, which I now realise sounds really weird. Now, I love it when I think I've reached somewhere in a game that I shouldn't have been able to get to, only for the game to acknowledge that they knew I could get there. A perfect example of this can be found in Guns, Gore and Cannoli 2. During the game's 3rd level, if you manage to climb on top of the hotel roof, you can find this. So at the top of the hotel is a free rocket launcher, in exchange for you ignoring the fact that the art team didn't create art on top of the building. Well, seeing as I'm telling you this now, I promise that I'll leave the rocket launcher right here. Now, I know that people say this sort of thing a lot, but they really don't make games like Just Cause 2 anymore. Nowadays, it feels like every game has to be a live service smash hit, and if it isn't, then it's quickly forgotten, which is a shame because Just Cause 2 is some of the most fun you can have with a grappling hook and machine gun this side of the Mississippi. Now, despite being a game about overthrowing dictators, which is strangely relevant right now, there are moments of comedy in the game too. For example, at this location on the map, you can make a very cool friend.
Hello, Mr. Snowman. Looks like Blaine. Got the same face. Hello, Mr. Snowman.
So putting a hat on something that doesn't normally wear a hat can be pretty funny. And if you don't believe me, ask the Hunt Showdown devs. On the Goddard Docks map, you can find this. Now, I'm not sure if this fish is somehow relevant to the story of Hunt Showdown, or if it's just a really dapper fish. So if you have more information on our hat-wearing friend here, let me know in the comments. Now, as far as movie tie-ins go, the King Kong game is actually pretty good. I always remember walking into my local Woolworths, RIP, and playing the demo for the game on the Xbox 360 kiosk, and I was blown away by just how good it looked. Now, if you're not familiar with the story of King Kong, you might consider this next part spoilers, so skip to the next game if you don't want to hear what happens. But if you've seen the 2005 movie, or just don't care about spoilers, then you'll know that King Kong dies at the end of the game, after falling from the top of the Empire State Building. It's a sad ending, as Kong was just being the wild animal that he is, but there is a way to see a happier outcome. After completing the game, you can replay levels to earn points that can be used to unlock bonus features. After earning 250,000 points, which admittedly does take some time, you can unlock the option to play an alternative ending. Now, the alternate ending plays pretty much like the original, until you have to pilot a plane and help Kong climb down from the Empire State. After saving Kong and completing the level, this cutscene will play. So Kong will return home and presumably live happily ever after. What makes this happier ending even cooler is that it was personally approved by the 2005 movie's director, Peter Jackson, so even he wanted Kong to be happy. Now, I love a good pun, or even just a simple play on words, so when I remembered the various posters that parodied real-world games in Hades 2, I had to include them here. Besides, it also gives me an actual reason to talk about Hades 2. Now, there are loads of these video game parody posters to find, but some of my personal favourites are the Endless Strolls 5 Skysex, Half-Life 3, Grand Tits author Metrana, and Mad Dad Erection 2. Which leaves me with so many questions. Next up is Nyctophobia Devil Unleashed, which is one of those games where there's a good chance you did see a creepy woman's head poking out of a toilet stall, but when you look again, it's not there. Granted, that's a very specific type of game, but you get what I mean. Now, near the end of the game, you'll pick up a crowbar which is needed to complete the story. However, if you take your newly found tool and instead use it to open a briefcase found near the bathrooms, you'll find a mystery key. And if you take this key to the basement, you can find this. Now, not only do you get a free show from this lovely, thing, but you can also find a note from the game's developer, who thanks you for playing their game, which is pretty wholesome. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a big fan of the Austin Powers movies. I mean, a lot of the jokes on the channel are taken from those films. So whenever a video game decides to reference Austin Powers, you best believe I'm gonna love it. During the first level of the brilliant 007 Agent Under Fire, you are tasked with freeing Zoe Nightshade using Bond's handy laser. Well, if you hold the interact button near the vent that I do, this will happen. So now it's not only Bond who has a laser, as all the sharks swimming around the submarine have been kitted out with the gadget too. Now, the first thing that came to mind when I first found this Easter egg was of course Austin Powers and this scene.
And that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
But I could have sworn that there was a James Bond movie with sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads. But apparently not. Still, Austin Powers reference or not, it's still a great Easter egg. Now, in Psychonauts 2, Raz has the ability to see through the eyes of pretty much anyone he likes using his clairvoyance powers. What's cool is, when looking through the eyes of certain characters, Raz will look different depending on their relationship with him. So for example, if you visit the bar at the bowling alley, the barman will see Raz like this. So the barman will only see Raz as an ID card, presumably because he spends so long making sure his customers are the right age to drink. Well, the ID card that the barman sees is the same ID card that Fogel, aka McLovin, used in Superbad.
Wait, you changed your name to McLovin?
Now, finding this next Easter egg is like finding a needle in a haystack. No, seriously, you literally have to find a needle in a haystack. In Lake Haven Chrysalis, you play as a detective sent out on a routine case. But as luck would have it, this case is far from routine. In your search for clues, you come across a barn, and when exploring the barn, you can hear this sound. So that sounds mean that you are close to finding the previously mentioned needle in a haystack, which is your cue to spam the interact button until you eventually pick it up. Now, despite being so well hidden, there is apparently nothing special about this needle. But if you use the needle to unlock the door underneath the nearby house, you can find this. So this creepy house is the same house seen in the now cancelled Silent Hills PT, which is really cool. Now you might think that's where the Easter egg ends, but if you try to leave the house, this will happen. So you're taken from the hallways of Silent Hills PT to the bathroom of Silent Hill 2. Exiting the toilet sees you standing exactly where James Sunderland once stood, which is just brilliant. If you check out the nearby car, your character will say there is a weird smell coming from the trunk. And if you've played Silent Hill 2, you'll know what that smell is. Now, considering how it's still popular today, I'm surprised we don't get many Scooby-Doo references in video games. And that's why when I remembered this next Easter egg from Retro Machina, I decided to include it in this video. When exploring Atomic City, you can find this. So it's the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo, though unfortunately there is no sign of Daphne or Velma. Now when you begin a level in a game, you usually head in the direction your character is facing, and developers know this. That's why sometimes they will hide something directly behind you, just to reward curious players. Well, at the beginning of the cemetery level in Pumpkin Jack, if you turn around, you can find this. I mean, I'm not sure if this skeleton band is a reference to anything, but it's good to see they're having fun. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. Like I said, I record everything in these videos myself, which as you can imagine takes a really long time. But personally, I think it's worth it. If you also think it's worth it, maybe tap subscribe. Anyway, as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.